Hello and welcome to the Big Arsenal Discussion. I'm your host Giles, sporting a very festive jumper because it's that time of year. Unlike my two panellists, my regular colleagues, I've got Robbie here from Arsenal Fan TV.
Great to be here.
Yes, it is. And also Guna Girl Amanda. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. Bit tired from work.
Yeah.
Obviously, the effects of last night.
Yeah.
But I've come from work to discuss.
What are we going to
Our
discuss?
club.
Let's start with last night's
We
game.
discussed last night, man. I mean, what a fantastic performance, fantastic victory by Arsenal. What can I say? I mean, I think Arsenal have started to learn to play in a different style. I mean, how many teams in recent years have come to Arsenal, had lots of possession, like what we allowed City to have last night, and Arsenal disciplined performance, excellent defending. There was the one sort of chance where De Bruyne was through earlier on in the game where maybe he could have done better, but he wasn't clinical enough. But after that, we got two chances, clinical as hell, buried both of them and went on to win the game and could have won it by more in the end. And I was just really infused by the performance. The atmosphere inside the ground was absolutely
Electric.
fantastic. If only it could be like that every week. And I really, really enjoyed the game because it was two quality teams. I think City was the best team we played this season. There was a lot of quality out there on the pitch. And you knew that the players, they showed so much concentration because they knew that if you let your concentration slip, there's players on the opposition side that will punish you. But yeah, fantastic. Brilliant performance by Arsenal last night.
Mans, how would you assess it?
Charles. I tweeted actually earlier in the day that I thought the atmosphere would be fantastic, and as you can hear, my voice is a bit croaky. It was rocking. It was
a nice atmosphere beforehand with lights going.
I love it when they do that. It's fabulous, you know, and it's not cringy. It's great. It's really classy, and it's lovely for the players to come out. And then Red Action did the bags rounds and the colours with the red and white. And you want to make it like that. You need to build that up to build that atmosphere, because it is a struggle there. As you say, it would be great every match, but it's not, is it?
So we can't really. I suppose, what I was going to say, you can't applaud Red Action too much for what they do.
It's fantastic.
They do for the
they
don't get paid.
I don't think they get paid. I don't know, but I would have thought it was all
They don't
voluntary
get paid,
work.
yeah, it's all
They love the
voluntary,
club the way we do, and you know, they asked everyone to get in early. I retweeted that, so hopefully everyone did. Not just from my retweet, but you know, just get in. And obviously, because of the security issues, people are in a bit earlier. It looked fabulous. We do it well, and at least it didn't then just die down. It continued. We started off pretty poorly. I felt the first 20 minutes was all them. Tough, but, you know, we did well, you know. And, you know, my dad has a saying, if you don't take your chances, you don't win games. We took our two chances, and you can't ask much more. Arsenal don't often do that. I mean, everyone knows what I think about Ozil. Again, he's passed to Walcott, but Walcott's goal was right in my eye line, and the way it curled in and the ground went mad. It's nights like that you are proud to be an Arsenal fan, you're proud to be a football fan, because that was a proper footballing match last night. I said to my dad, it was like back in the late 80s of proper football, proper hard tackles. You know, there wasn't any bitterness, there wasn't really, was there? There wasn't any fighting or anything like that. I just felt the whole team performed as a team. I didn't even discuss man of the match because I couldn't pick one out, to be honest. And I think to insult them would to do that. What I felt was when the subs board went up, I didn't see who it was. I just got up and clapped. I said to my dad, I've never done that before. I just got up and clapped because whoever was going off deserved the clap. You know, deserved the applause. Brilliant. We worked as a team. We stayed disciplined. We knew second half what was going to happen. You're 2-0 up. They've got to come at you. They don't really want to lose the game. It would have been I think both teams would have been okay with a draw because of the situation where we are in the league. I just felt everyone was on fire. I felt we were the 12th man. I'd like to say well done to all our fans. As you can hear, I was singing as well. The atmosphere was great, and I think the belief is starting now. It's not cocky. Other fans think we're a little bit cocky. I know we're not. I've been with Arsenal long enough. We're not. We're just starting to believe that it's possible with all our injuries, and we're winning.
Despite
all the injuries. It could have been doom and gloom with the fact that Sanchez wasn't even on the bench, which I was quite pleased about because I don't want him to pull anything else. I want him to be ready. We've won all games without Sanchez there. So he'll come back fighting fit. I think Joel Campbell has settled into the team great. I'm really pleased for him. My boy Ozil, he's like a magician, like a master. He just dictates that game, you know. It is like the little... orchestra, you know what I'm trying to say, I can't think of the words, you know what I'm trying to say.
Well, he's the pianist according to Wenger, isn't he? Or is it Gilberto?
He is the
conductor.
The way he graces that pitch. I said this 18 months ago when people said he's lazy, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. I think he graces the pitch. I'm pleased all Arsenal fans can see that. You can see, as we said, of course he's stepped up. It's stepped up. Everything with him has. I think he's worth every part of that 42.5 million, but I thought he was worth it from day one. I just loved him, you know that. Giroud, we have to talk about Giroud, and I have to talk about somebody else as well. Giroud is the most underrated player at Arsenal. I've underrated him.
There's one player more underrated than him.
Monreal. Yeah, I'm going to talk about him in a second. That was the other one. Giroud stats, you can't argue with, you know. We all wanted to buy a striker. I think we all still do, funny enough. But his work rate and his goals per game, we can't fault. I argue with this with one of my best mates. He reckons he's a great striker. I've always said he's okay. But I think I have to concede now that he's doing it week after week after week. And as we just said, Monreal last night and every game, you don't notice him because he's so good. I mean, I criticised him 3 years ago. I had to come out on our podcast and say...
a lot of people did.
He's not good enough. You know, he's not good enough. Because of Gibbs' injuries, he has stepped up. He was played out of position. Wenger had to. We had no centre half. He's coming at this left back. Well, I mean, you don't want him or Bellerin out, do you? Now you just want to keep that. Keep that. Yeah. And I noticed last night, Bellerin lost the ball. Well, the ball was lost in midfield, right in front of me. You know where I sit. And I know that Bellerin is so capable of getting it back because of his speed. He ran half the length of the pitch to get that ball. Now, we know Debuchy can't do that. I'm not here to criticise Debuchy because I rate him. But him and Monreal are the best left-backs. Koscielny, I mean, we could go on. I mean, I know we're going to talk about that maybe another time, but I just felt I can't fault anyone. And to have Cech in goal. You know, I argued with Arsenal fans in June and July when he was signed, or whenever he was signed, oh, he's not worth 9 million, he hasn't played. I said, he will have a dodgy month. I did actually say that, he will. Because he hasn't played. He hasn't got the defence in front of him that he used to have, right? Our defence is now better than Chelsea's defence anyway. But he didn't have that John Terry, right? It's like being superb at your job and going to a new job, you've still got to settle in. And boy, did he make mistakes. He did. And now look at him.
The thing is about it, right, is that when you think about it, one of the reasons why I'm starting to have that belief that we can win the league is because of our defence. Something that's been our weakness over the years. But at the moment, I think Monreal is the best left back in the league. I think Bellerin is up there.
He's
with
most
the best
exciting.
right backs in the league.
He's not making as many mistakes.
I think Koscielny is definitely the best centre back in the league.
You hear that, Man United fans?
Right? He's better than Smalling. I'm sorry, you know, Smalling's done very well this season. But Koscielny, even Rio Ferdinand and people like that said it. He's the best centre back in the league, and we've got the best goalkeeper in the league in Petr Cech, right? And I don't think those Cech and Koscielny are not in doubt, and Monreal for me as well, not in doubt. So we have at the moment have got an excellent defence, and that is one of the reasons why Arsenal are being so successful. One of the reasons why I think if we keep that together, we can win this league this season.
But Robbie, the defence hasn't changed. What has changed is their belief in Cech. This is a massive thing here. They believe. The thing is, our forwards always believed, right? Our midfield always believed. And we look at the defence, they didn't believe, you know. And now they're believing because they've got him behind him.
You've got a different quality.
Yes, it makes such a difference.
I was thinking about the game today, on the Southampton game last year, and the mistake that Szczesny made in that game that
and Koscielny as well
cost us that game. But like you said, you know, last night when balls were being flung into the box and things like that, Cech just deals with it.
And that's what I like about him. He doesn't have to make spectacular saves like your De Gea's or your Courtois and that, because he positions himself in the right. He's always in the right place. He makes it look so easy and comfortable.
And even
he commands his box, doesn't he?
And even last night, I think that if De Bruyne would have been when he had that chance, if that had been Chesney, he would have thought to himself, I've got a little bit of time here. But because he's checked, he's thinking, I've got to do my best here now. And maybe the decision
psychologically,
he overthinks it, and that's why he maybe puts it wide, or because the calibre of guy that is in front of you. And I'm feeling very optimistic because of the defence. You know, because I'm thinking, this defence at the moment, they're not letting us down week in, week out. I mean, you're obviously going to get the odd week where there's mistakes, but they're solid.
Let me ask you about the midfield, the battle in midfield. Some of your Man City friends said that Yaya Toure ran the game last night.
Yeah, but the thing is,
you
know, I don't look at anything through rose-tinted glasses, Arsenal. I'm very critical when I need to be, and I praise. And I always have said that if I'd have thought Toure would have run that game last night, I'll say it here. He did not run that game last night. I don't know what my Man City friends are talking about. Maybe they watched a different game. I felt their tackles were a bit heavy, but then I've been criticised for saying that by a mate of mine. I think the reason why we can't stand these heavy tackles is the fear of the injuries. You know, the impact injuries we get.
Being brittle.
And so and every time we want to be protected. I get that. It's not a precious thing, it's the fact that we don't expect people to let us play football, because if you do, you're going to get 5-0, aren't you? It's going to happen. But I just felt, I'm very honest in the way I see games and how I see it, it's not anyone else's opinion. They were all over us for 20 minutes and they were all over us for the last 10 minutes, but the rest of it I think was very equal. We took our chances. I don't feel Yaya Toure run that game. I felt...
I can't believe that your mate even suggested that.
Yeah, he did. They're very early
this morning. Up until that goal, I thought Yaya Toure was anonymous.
Yes.
I thought Flamini and those guys, they dealt with him. They dealt with him.
And I was going to come to the...
Ramsey again was superb. The only thing that he lacked yesterday was his finishing. Yaya Toure run the game. Those Man City fans are deluded.
I thought Ramsey worked his socks off last night. I know he missed and stuff, and I thought Campbell did and he missed. And it could have cost us, but I do feel the midfield. We've lost our best defensive midfielder in Coquelin. We were all devastated, and he's not going to be back.
To be honest, Flamini in this one against Flamini's done a good job.
You know
most pointedly in last night's game, because you didn't hear about him.
The thing is with
if you don't hear about your defensive midfielder, he's doing a good job.
The thing is with Flamini, he loves our club, right? He's Arsenal through and through. Whatever happens with his contract we don't know anything, right? Robbie and I were...
He's a billionaire anyway.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't need to play, does he, right? Well, look how he does play. Robbie was with me at Tottenham in the Carling Cup when he scored those 2 goals. I was row 1, right, as Robbie was. And he comes up to us. It meant everything that he scored those goals. Right, I want players like... I've always loved him. I just didn't think he was good enough to play in that position. He is, at the moment, he is progressing well. Sometimes he is a red card waiting to happen, you know, and he needs
Did he get booked last night?
And that's one of the things, right? You know, when I was interviewing fans last week, that's what they were saying. They was going, Flamini's done all right so far.
Yes, because...
But, the big test is City. He passed it with flying colours.
Oh, he did, and I love Flamini. And he is so Arsenal.
Is Joel Campbell now, in your mind, an Arsenal player? Because people were...
The thing is with Joel Campbell, he's been given a chance, right? And that is another boy. He's not Arsenal through and through. He's only been for us a couple of years, and then he was loaned out. And look how he's playing. You know what? He makes mistakes, but he's trying his hardest.
He puts in one hell of a shift,
and he puts in a shift. And I think that's how you endear yourself to your own club.
He's absolutely right.
I said this in a video last night. The biggest compliment we can pay to Joel Campbell is that none of us sitting here, nobody last night missed Alexis Sanchez, right? Who's our best player. So the fact that he's come in and against Olympiacos, against Sunderland last night, we haven't missed, against Villa, we haven't missed Alexis Sanchez, is a massive compliment to Joel Campbell, because he's playing so well. Obviously, he hasn't got the finishing abilities of Alexis, but his work rate is very similar to Alexis. I mean, last night, he all the games,
socks off.
He's run his socks off, chasing back. You know, if you watch the second goal last night, it was his work rate and everything like that sort of caused the problems in midfield, and then led to us winning the ball back and going on to score that goal. Joel Campbell's an Arsenal player, you know, and what I've liked this season is that these guys have come in, these squad players have come in, and they're stepping up. Guys like Monreal, Bellerin, now Campbell. These guys were nowhere near the squad sort of. They were squad players. Now they're establishing themselves as main players. Right now, even if Danny Welbeck was fit, Oxlade-Chamberlain's being kept out of the team by Campbell. Quite rightly so. He's earning his position. I salute the guy.
And he's endearing himself to the fans, as you said.
Yeah.
He's working
performance
hard.
is-
He's like an Arsenal player,
endearing.
and he's an Arsenal fan. I'm not saying he's an Arsenal fan, but he feels like that. I don't look at him and think, well, you know, he's a new boy. I don't look at him like that. I think he's working so hard. He wants what he is. He wants to be in that team, and he's got to now take that chance. He's not going to keep Alexis out. We know that. But what's great is we're talking about the Ox. We're talking about Welbeck.
We can depend on him when we
What's
need to.
great is we're going to have them to come back in Coquelin. We're going to have fresh legs. Jan, Feb, and March. Jack Wilshere. So it's looking great. I would like him to buy a defensive midfielder. I would like him to do that in Jan, just to take the
Pressure.
pressure off the shoulders of Flamini, and when Coquelin
Go
comes
out there and
back.
buy Victor Wanyama is what I say.
Okay.
Go out there and buy somebody that can do a job. That's been the Big Arsenal discussion. Leave your comments in the box below. Tell us what you think about last night's game. Thank you for watching.